Yeah.
All right, so how was your week, Pete?
Oh, really good. Just a kind of a weird week with the way that obviously the market reacted to Jay Powell, kind of overdid it to the upside, and then reality check with the jobs numbers, but then you didn't get much more downside after that. So I think that's kind of going to be what we're in for a while. That a trend day down all day, I think is going to be kind of rare, in my opinion. So you just have to be really careful when a big move happens pre-market to think like you're going to get follow through on that. It's better off to just have levels in mind on specific stuff and see how it reacts to that. Felt good about backing off the shorts on crypto. I timed that really well. Those
Hmm.
went back up. Um, Swings in basic materials have been good, and yeah, and just some scalps off SPY off our levels too. We're good.
Nice, nice, nice. Big winner for me was that XPath. That last 5 minutes of
Yeah.
voice paid the bills for me. Let me tell you that. Uh, um, but just the overall plan, I think, really, to be honest with you, is probably the one A for the good on the week. We really nailed like Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah, yeah.
time being. Go ahead.
XPEV had been on our radar, and I think kind of we weren't really sure on timing it or anything, but just the price was so low. It was like, look, if this stock's going to exist, this company's going to exist. This stock is not going to stay down here.
Yeah, no,
So,
for me,
be watching for it. Or
I missed the second one,
oh yeah,
but if you search the group, Neo and XPev, I was calling the blood red on them. I think like a month and a half ago. Like, hey, short these. It's in collabs, and I was following XPev, just waiting for the
yeah. And I
overreaction,
bought a
and then the ER came at the perfect timing. I mean, they were that chart was just beat down, and then they had ER, which is a catalyst, right? And you just kind of wait for that to happen and see what happens on the backside. From the share side, it's easier because you don't have to wait for anything really. I mean, it was as low as 7. I didn't get into like 860, but I mean, look at the move.
yeah. I bought leaps on it at about 750. Did not really like at $10, tendency to go in the money later. Stay down here. They too much of a following, and China is just not going to let the full on collapse now. There's just they're basically ordered to buy stuff, and they do. So yeah, good to stay on those.
Yeah, so that was pretty much that, and then just waiting for the feds to come in and do their thing. Did good for me on the week. Not a whole lot on the social side. It's kind of weird. For me, you can kind of see when the larger stuff is moving. That's people with actual money. When the smaller stuff is the only stuff moving, that's people that are just day trading. Um, I mean, this is how I look at it, and it's just kind of been weird how it's still been mono, only one stock moving on the social side at a time, pretty much. They can't hold anything up. They can't get anything really pushed. Um, that comms or whatever was the last late great one, but you see where that went with an offering in the air. Um, for me right now, the better plays are in these like mid caps that are they're beat down,
Yeah,
and they're trying to stay alive themselves. I mean, they don't want their stock price in the dirt. They really don't. So, um, yeah, we're finding a lot of those. Um, Starbucks was great for me. Square was good for me. I appreciate that shout. Um, when your line failed, my line was there. It works for me. um,
yeah.
but it's just yeah, it's been weird. I'm interested that you said you think we're going to be not down but sideways.
Yeah, well, right, and mainly, I think we'll go down, but I think that it's going to happen after hours and pre-market on news, and then algorithms buy it back up a bit. So, to we get like 1% in SPY down, or 1.5, based on some report, that you're not going to see it then collapse to 3-4% down from here. And we were in that setup for a while where, you would get it to just continue to trend down all day. But there's just a lot of resistance to selling off like that right now. Not really sure, why, but that's just what I'm seeing.
Friday's probably a good example of that, which most Fridays are, where it drops, $7 and it comes back and it's 40 cents at the end of the day off of where it opened, not even a percent down, 0.12% down. Um,
Yeah, exactly. And
but
yeah,
that's
I noticed
but
with the
that's
socials too
that's
that
both directions at this point, is
yes,
what you're saying. Okay.
yeah, they really want to punish people who want to chase for sure. So you have to be careful about that. I have noticed with the Twitter people, they're on all these sub 50 cent stocks,
Hmm.
and trying to hype those. I don't trust those at all.
No, I'm with you. Um,
Well, look at CR BP,
yeah.
had that move up to whatever 22 cents or something, back down to 13 cents. I mean, and you get stuck in that. It's just, there's not a lot of hope of it coming back right away.
Yeah, no, the people that are going to get racked right now are the ones that came in late to the 2000 or 2021 show, right? Because the stocks
Yeah,
that ran 700-800% in 3 days, there was some volume like no other to that. I mean, it was crazy the amount of shares that were being traded on several stocks at a time. And you're not even seeing that on one right now. And thinking you're going to get the same move or half that move is it's foolish. But that's what they're doing. They're using, you know, 2020,
oh,
2021
there,
price
yeah,
targets, PF and PLs to tell people these are going to run. And there's just not that much money or people out there buying to
and
push them.
they're hyping that point in time where it was hard to find stocks under a dollar. I remember all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, back's back on OTC.
yeah.
I mean, that's all you got to know. That's all you got to know. They're just I mean, it's just you're a boxer, right? You got to say he's a good boxer. He's been in the game for a while. He's just throwing
Yeah,
he's throwing punches, trying to see what lands. I mean, that's it. Some of these other guys, like the younger cats, they will just take their $100 a day. They don't care.
yeah,
They'll live off subs. 5 grand off subs is great.
yeah, absolutely.
so, so go sign up for them $200 rooms, folks. Those kids need you.
Yeah.
Spy. I
Yeah.
thought we were gonna end in a tie, but I'm giving you the win. We split the bottom because it went to 393, and I had 95, you had 90, and I had 17, which was an outrageous volume profile shoot, and you had 411, and you pretty much nailed the top on that Thursday. So
Well, yeah, it was that move off Powell, and then the consolidation Thursday. If the jobs numbers had went the other way, it probably so it was plausible going into Friday. It just depended on those numbers. But yeah, I think it's interesting. Like you see the levels. I don't think anybody could have really predicted that move on Wednesday, where
yeah, yeah.
it just. I mean, anyone who was trying to short that while it was happening just got wrecked over and over again, because that buying just did not stop all into close. It's just wild. So yeah, I mean, that just I think, to me, when you see a day like that, and when you're trading SPY, or we've been talking a lot about these SPX contracts, like, you have to just go very, very small with that, and it doesn't take much to double or triple a contract, but don't get caught up in thinking, I'm going to double $1,000 when you can just, put in 50 or 70 and have it go to 2 or 300, because it can just go to zero so fast. Like,
Yeah.
you just have to be really careful about that.
Wednesday I felt in the room um, that I don't want to say your side, but the option side, which is kind of your side. So
Yeah.
don't take it as I'm pointing at you, but like it was like shut it down. This ain't working because of just where everyone's head was at. Where on the share side, it was pretty much buy anything and hold on, and just
Yeah.
hold on for
Yeah.
the ride, because
Yeah.
we don't short shares, right? So
Right.
it just seemed like that was the general consensus going in, which is if I'm wrong, correct me, but it just seems like that I didn't understand it. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, no, I was mostly in puts, but was done before lunch, and was just like, I know Pal's going to talk, and I didn't really want to mess with it too much. I had one, I got one like momentum trade in late or whatever, but the it broke a pattern that had been happening, which is where and part of this I think is because the minutes and him speaking were not on the same day. But what had happened was in previous months, you get this big spike in anticipation, and then Powell says something hawkish, I guess, and then it just tanks everything, and then we pick a direction from there. Whereas this time it just spiked and then just took off. So yeah, on the option side, you get in a situation if you didn't anticipate that move, you just feel like you're kind of frozen. You're deer in the headlights because it's like it's not doing what I expected, and it just keeps going. And I don't want to chase it to the upside, and I also don't want to short it and just get destroyed. So you just let it play out, and then go from there.
Let it happen. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the intraday big option moves usually aren't good unless you're already in. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, just because it can just go the other way on you so fast. I mean, if
Sure.
you're like one for this week or next week, and Tesla all of a sudden goes from negative 0.5%, it's up 3%. It's like, yeah, well, I could add here, but it's really kind of 50-50, and that's just not a
Yeah.
you don't have an edge at that point.
No,
So
no. I mean, it's spied at a $10 move that day. Even the smart thesis on that is how would you play that? Like the stock play would be wait. I mean,
yeah,
if
yeah,
you're not already there, you have to wait. No, 100%.
yeah.
Looking at that chart too is straight up. Jesus, I don't really. I've been trying to check in like every other day on SPY just because of what we do here. Um, but last week there was too many other fish in the sea,
Yeah.
so I didn't really check in too much. What do you got this week?
Well, I'm noticing that right now crypto is shaking off these little bits of bad news that come out. I think it's going to take something big to knock it back down, but I also don't think it has momentum to go up much either. Which actually is to me is bullish for the stocks because before this latest breakdown, that's kind of what we were in. Bitcoin wasn't moving much, but Coin had this huge range that I was playing, constantly. And now that Coin moved up over 47 and MSTR recovered, it had hit 211 on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
That I actually am kind of bullish on the crypto stocks, so I'm going to get back into those a little bit. And oil is pretty much doing what we talked about, where a lot of the stocks are checking down to some previous levels, but they're not. It's not like a full breakdown of the chart. So I'm actually really interested to see how oil reacts this week. MRO is kind of at a key level for me, just around 29. Oxy Uh, really, probably not going to give up 68 easily. So that's going to be something to watch. If Oxy were to hit like 66, I would probably really be looking for that because it'll go back to 70, 75 from there, very likely. So yeah, so I'm interested in oil and crypto. Just incredible strength in basic materials right now, which actually is keeping me slightly bullish for the market overall because usually I see some weakness there before um, it starts to hit tech and some of the others. And then lastly, I am still bearish on big banks, and you saw WFC give up quite a bit this week, and I expect BAC is probably going to check down another point or two as well. And then the one still with the most to give back is Goldman Sachs. So that'd be a big signal if that were to break down to like 370 or something like that. So yes, those are the three areas I'm looking at:
Nice.
crypto, oil, banks.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna let's go with that one because that would probably take the most time if it does. What about this like OPEC Russia stuff that just dropped this yesterday, last night, this morning, whatever? You don't think that's gonna pump the price up a little bit again? I mean, we're down at 80. Are we at 80 still?
Yeah, no, I mean that's why I think it's lining up where the stocks are like not really like overheated right now, and they have some room to sort of test some of those previous levels. Maybe not like fully test those recent highs, but yeah, I think they should get a little bit of a jolt to the upside on that.
What's gas out there?
Um, well, last time I filled up was let's see.
We don't have to be super exact.
Yeah, it's about it was like 330 something like that.
You want to guess
Yeah.
what ours is out here? Standard
What's
Cal.
that?
It's like 480.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah. No. Yeah. I was
I
just
mean,
looking.
it just broke into the fours. That's why I'm asking. I was like, fuck, we're going the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. 80. Actually, 87 here usually can get it under $3, so it's like 296 something like that.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Oklahoma, man.
Man,
But good luck charging your car if you got an EV.
no, you got the premium though, right? The 80,
Yeah. Yeah.
89, whatever. That's what. Yeah, I gotta add
Yeah.
that. God damn. Um. Yeah. Okay. So if you, I like oil. Oil's a little more consistent. The natural gas, whatever's going on there, I can't pin it down. But those moves are so wild. Um. I kind of it's there's just easier stuff to play. um. But those I'm still following those two. Definitely. I there's a couple oil charts I'll bring up when we get into charts though, because I'm assuming you're gonna have oil in there, and
Yeah.
I'll wait for that. Crypto. I like crypto because it's finally something we can like be on the opposite side of the fence about a little bit. Um, and I don't mean that from the stock side because I'll start there.
Yeah.
When you nailed the turn, I looked at the charts and um, the ones that I liked, it was a perfect time to enter them. Again, there was just too much stuff last week, but Mara and Riot are pretty much the ones for me now that I like. Crypto in itself, though, I'm on the other side of the fence. There's some problems over there. There's just so many problems over there. What, in a nutshell, my old man on the porch, um, smoking a cigar, drinking his brandy guy. That fucking all I see is people that don't own coins at all. They don't own coins. They're part of someone's general ledger, and those funds that they gave them are gone, and that's happened
Right.
way too much. And there's more to come, and it's basically it was a good scam. It was a good way to get capital, especially when the market was hot. Um, I just think there's more meat to come off of that bone because the world doesn't understand, and we're gonna find out that you need to own the coins, not be a part of someone's general ledger.
Right. Well, yes. So, yeah, and what I would say is that the market's not reacting to the little news right now. Binance paused withdrawals for because they got hacked or something.
Sure, sure.
There was a time when everything was in a frenzy that would have sent Bitcoin down 1 or 2%. Right now, it's not really reacting to that. But when Binance finally unravels, because I think they're the one that they've got a lot of shady aspects to them. That that's your big jolt that'll send Bitcoin down to like 12,000 or something like that. So yes, and I do also think that there are big names tied up in that FTX stuff. There's still a lot to come out there, and you hit on something. The reason I'm skeptical about some big bull run to 50, 80,000, that until they come up with a simple way that people can own their own coins, that there's like going to be like trust behind it, where your average, just average person on the street can buy crypto and not feel like they're going to get scammed. You have to have those buyers. Crypto bros with their USB drives in cold storage, whatever, like that, your average person's not going to do that. So there's just not going to be enough buyers
Yeah,
to
but
push it back
but
up.
at this time, and this is why I love this subject now because it's something that we can debate. um,
Yeah.
at this point in time, the only way that shit is safe is if you own the coins. And from my
Yeah.
knowledge, again, I'm dumb grandpa on the porch. From my knowledge, in these cheap seats, there's not a single place that helps you own your own coins. They just want your money, so they can because they have your coins somewhere you don't know
Yeah.
about. You don't have that little AB29-39-29292, whatever the coin thing is. You don't have that. That's
Mhm.
not tied to you like your house deed or your car title is. It's not yours. And
Well, right.
until
Well,
we
I
get to a place where it's yours and you know how to hold it and move it around, like you can pick the coin that you want to send me as payment, like personally, like taking a $20 bill out of your pocket. Until that's a thing, it's not going to be a thing. So I just think there's a lot more downside to it.
I can buy a coin on Coinbase and take custody of it, but it's not easy.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
it's not hard. It's not hard, but it would take me a couple hours to set that up, and Goose and I have talked about this too, where you just sort of have this limbo where you send the coin to yourself, and it takes 20 minutes or whatever, but that 20 minutes, if it's $100, whatever, but if you're
Yes.
moving thousands and you're just
Yeah.
kind of like your money's out on the blockchain somewhere, that's a
Yes.
little that's a little scary. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to come to realize with this FTX stuff is that you don't own your coins. How do I own my coins? That
Yeah.
shit. You got to be a college professor and have 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, if I were like a computer science guy or whatever, like that might be my project, is to make that easy. That's a multi-million dollar idea,
Hundred
if
percent.
you can just make that an app for someone, and it's like, these are your coins. We just facilitate that. There's no fees for us. We don't ever, own it or whatever. It's just, we built this for you, for your wallet, whatever. And you don't readily see that. If that stuff's out there, they don't have the marketing behind it, like all these crypto.com and all these people. So yeah, I'm mostly with you. I just think people wanting to short the stocks
Bad idea.
based on based on the macro,
Bad
it
idea.
just doesn't work. And the same thing happens with SPY all the time. It's like, oh, here's my 2008 overlay. I'm going to buy, zero DTE puts because the market's going to go down. Easy way to get wrecked over and over.
I mean, there's ones. I don't even think you can short those. There's some shitty Bitcoin ones that are definitely going to zero. Don't get me wrong, stocks, but I don't short the
Yes.
ones because they're good. Um, like there's some ones that are pretty good out there, and it's probably the ones like that 85% of the people know. So,
Yeah, like well, here's one that we haven't touched in such a long time. You look at BTCM
oh yeah,
is now
God,
23 cents. And I remember trading that when it was like $1.50 to 2. So, it's
And he's 30.
yeah, yeah, and he's another one. Cores, yeah,
That's big, yeah. Of course, I just got rid of.
yeah, 14 cents.
Jesus.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah,
Um, words. Banks, I'm with you. I'm with you on banks too. Um, I think you nailed that though when you said it the first time. Really, I think that was the time to start scaling into those swings.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And what
you're kind of
I
like
think,
final
I think
warning
what I
here.
said, like Goldman Sachs has not come down as maybe I thought it would. Luckily, their options are too expensive anyway. So it was Wells Fargo
Hmm.
Wells Fargo to me overall is just weaker than Bank of America. I think Bank of America's just kind of got their shit together a little better. And
Hey, did you play that one bank? I hate saying names in here, but did you play CS when we put that together?
yes, I did. Yeah, I think I said like leaps here are worth the risk.
Yeah, no, I
And
just I just bought like I bought like scaled in on some shares and it just took off 10%. I was like, well, that was right.
yeah, it fits so much of what I look for, just in terms of this jolt and option buying, but also the fact that it's the big Twitter punchline,
Hmm.
that and it's just the shorting it had been overdone. So
You know what really
um,
did it for me? Like pre-talk, like the reason I think I was the one who brought it up, or if you brought it up, whoever brought it up, is they stopped the selling or whatever. Like they stopped whatever they were doing
yeah,
with their assets. So I was like, all right, that's probably a good
yeah,
time to check them out. And then you pretty much came in with it right in the same breath of that. Um, I love it when it lines up like that.
yeah. And it's funny that like the first, usually the first mention when I laugh at how low something is,
That's
it's
a
often
perfect entry.
because
Perfect entry.
it's just yeah, it's just an absurd number, just so far below the flow setup that I'm like, this just can't really stay down here. And yeah,
Disney in the '80s. Okay.
yeah, right,
Okay. Sure.
yeah.
um, full circle here. What's your spy weekly prediction numbers since you nailed it last week? I'll make you go first this week.
Oh yeah. Let me see what I got here. So I'm interested to see how this reacts at 400. If we do check back to there,
Okay.
to kind of see if that's a spot where it can get some strength. But I think it'll check in a little bit below that, not too far though. So I've got like 398 in the strikes is a level for me. And then I don't think that the range is going to be too huge this week. So I've got 414, 414.50, somewhere around there is my range.
Perfect. I'm gonna have to go with this 395 on volume profile because it's just the 20 day. It's a 20-day spot. If we do have any downside, that's probably it again. So I'm gonna stay with the 395. And if you went to 14, man, I almost want to go to 17 again. I'm gonna stick with that 17. So
I like it.
I'm gonna stick with the volume profile numbers. I do think what we got the P's this week, PPI and PMI. We got this
Yeah.
week, which is one's Monday and one's Thursday, I believe. So we'll get the one. It's basically what they pay for products and what they pay to make products, or what they charge to make products, shit like that. Um, but those should move some things, but I think a lot of stuff we're on that those aren't going to really affect it too much. I mean, if you're playing Spire QQQ or something like that, SPX or whatever like that, those are definitely going to be affected. But a lot of the plays that we're on, I don't know if they're going to be affected by those numbers, to be honest with you.
Right, yeah, and honestly, what I could see happening is, like you take our numbers and like from 414, I could see like a big wick up to 417 or something, where it
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
taps that and then comes back. That definitely could happen.
You just see us living in this range for a while. Like
Um,
the 390 to 415 or something like that.
yeah, I do actually. I think it's going to take something significant to get us out of that, and that will happen. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it there because we're right at 30, and we'll just hop into
Yep.
the regular session.